Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my Essential Messages. My name is Bobbie Richardson, and I'll be your guide for today. Just getting this sorted. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Nicole. Good to see you this morning, or whatever time of the day it is over there. Debbie, hi. Good to see you in the chat bar. Okay, today's going to be a bit interesting because I've had a new guide come in. And it's really interesting how it all happens. So we go through this whole new birth experience, and they're like giving me channel messages on birthing something new. And for me, everybody's different. But for me, it ended up being this dream that came along, and there was these beings in my dream, very vivid and interrupted kind of thing. Like you're dreaming something and then boom, these things are there. Anyway, I'll have another little chat about that in a second. I actually drew a picture so I can share with you guys what I saw, or similar to what I saw, what I could remember I saw anyway. So that's exciting. We will move into that in a minute, and I will welcome them and bring them in. But first of all, a little bit of housekeeping. My masterclasses are going to start up again in August, probably around August the 10th. And up till then, you can register if you want. So they have 4 videos all through story. There's a lot of storytelling and that sort of things, true stories of my own. Messages that my team gave me, and it's just to help you click into your left logical brain of, okay, this is for real, these things have happened to me, or this is confirmation, or because we want our logical brain to actually get into this itself, to be able to realize where its rightful place is. And then so it's all to do with controlling the logical mind into its rightful place, clearing spaces, and becoming more a channeler yourself, becoming more authentic to who you are. Because one of the first things that happens when we move into these higher vibrations is we become connected, and we become more of channelers on our own right, and telepathic and all of that sort of stuff. So if you're interested, they also have 5. So the four videos are, I've got to remember now. Well, it's to do with clearing the mind, the logical brain, the bringing in the soul and the intuitive side, the pineal gland, lots of juicy information on the pineal gland that I've received from my team. And then 4th is all about telepathy and channeling and channel messages and that. And then you will have 5 telepathic games that you can hook into and have a go at for a couple of months. And then you have 4. I'm thinking 4. I'm just trying to sort those out because there was a couple. I'm sorting out the time zones anyway, so that it matches up with people that are, because I did morning and night, but the night ones weren't really working, but the morning ones are. So we'll see what happens with that one. But around 4 Zoom calls with me, so that you can have a chat with me, with the other teams members that have purchased. So if you're interested in that, you can book that down below for that. So I had to get all that out first, and then we'll go into all this excitement of what's actually happening with me and the world, and more channeled messages coming through. I'm also an intuitive counselor if you want me to book me one-on-one. Okay, that's housekeeping. Out the way. So this is what happened. I ended up having this incredible dream where these beings come in. I've never seen them before. I'd never felt into them before, didn't know who they were. The day before, I actually clicked on a tarot reading thing just on YouTube, and the tarot reader said, someone's coming in for you. And that was so interesting. Maybe that clicked me into, oh, someone's coming in for you, a new guide. And then it just kind of opened the space. So, I love it how these coincidences happen, but it's kind of like not a coincidence, because me thinking that way opens me up to something. They're already prepped for it, that sort of thing. So in my dream, this being came, he was in a pod. I will show you a picture of him while I have a chat to him so that you guys can get a feel of this. He's very different, by the way, very different. Let's share screen here. I really need my glasses on to do this. So we got share screen. Hang on a sec. Share. Okay. Hopefully that comes up. Yep, it does. Yeehaw. This is easier. Okay, guys. So get that one down. If you can see that, it's pretty different, right? So yeah, this happened 15th of July. So it took me a couple of nights. And what happened was he was in a pod and he had like this cap on the back of his head, very diamond shaped head, cap on the back of his head that connected to his pod. So the things that are coming down from his head are like the connection to the pod. And it was very colorful, very vivid, and it was quite snug fit, just the one-off kind of thing. And he reached out his hand, and it reached out its hand and asked me to, I'll help you, I'll help as well with this next phase that's coming up in my life. And at the time I went to, and then I'm like, hang on a sec, like if you're the real deal, you'll be able to handle me saying, just hold off, because I need to really feel into this brand new energy, this brand new being. I need to feel into it first. And I think that's just respect of me and respect of them as well. So that's what I did in the dream. I went to, and then I went, no, I'm going to, just get to know you a bit more. So over the next couple of days, they were in my head, and there was no kind of malice feeling. It was just kind of like we're here kind of thing. And there was a bit of a lightheartedness to it. And then last night before I went to sleep, I thought, I wonder if I can tap into them. And then I woke up and it was really interesting. They were really, really excited, but pushy, but not pushy. How would I describe that? Determined? No. Or I wish that there was more English words, but I'll give you an example, I suppose. Well, I'll have to try to tap into them a bit more, but they were showing me things of the Anunnaki, surprisingly enough. I've already been visited by the Anunnaki. I've actually done a talk about this visitation where 4 ended up in my bedroom. And they gave me a test to see if I was afraid to walk through them, to turn on the light. And yeah, there was UFOs around me and other people seeing them. And it's a big, long story. It's actually under my 444 messages, because I've had quite a few bizarre and different encounters throughout my life. But they actually appeared in my room, and I sat up, and yeah, it is a long story. But in any case, they're talking about that the Anunnaki were observing. And the reason for that was that they were learning from us. And then they got into this kind of, I wish I could feel the feeling now and bring it in. But last night it was kind of like, the Anunnaki are watching. Come on, we've got to get you motivated. And, of course it's supposed to be hard. It's meant to be hard. That's the whole journey isn't supposed to be an easy ride. Otherwise anyone could do it. You were brought here specifically for purpose, to push you into a position of being able to communicate and talk to everybody. And it wasn't just me. I could feel that they were talking about quite a few of us. It wasn't just me that they were talking about. It's like this rays of the star, star beings, those that come from the stars, plus the witches, plus the elementals, anyone that had codes, anyone that came from a different frequency, a higher frequency. They were like, come on, you came here for a purpose. Stop being a victim. That's the old program. Get into your power, bring it up, start to move into this, but they were kind of jovial with it too. There was this fun thing about it. And they were like, that old life that you had, that that narcissist partner that bet you up and cheated and all that sort of stuff, or whatever they did with you guys. See them as, all of that energy going into a big ball and then freaking kick it to the space. Like just drop kick it. It's so interesting how they were coming through. I'll stop sharing so that so there was this very jovial kind of that real high energy. Come on, guys, you're here for a purpose. Don't you remember this is the time that you guys come into your power, and don't take no for answer. Of course, you're going to end up looking a little bit like a fool or whatever to some people because they're still caught in that matrix. Of course, it's still going to happen. That's the whole point. Like, you're supposed to be the guides that push the boundaries, that really push the boundaries. And yeah, it was really interesting, their energy that came in, and motivation. In a really nice way, but also, you guys are that cool. You came and you have that much power. You're hiding away in being a victim, and saying, oh, woe is me, the world isn't showing up for me. Well, of course it's not showing up. You're the one that breaks that mold. You're the one that of course it's not showing up yet, because you're the one that pushes through the filament of the confined bubble that's kept humanity's consciousness bound in limitations. You're the one that pushes the first thing through. So you have to trust so much more. You have to have faith. That's why you were chosen, because you have such a strong connection to your star people, star beings, higher tribes, other dimensions, elementals, holding those codes for all that time throughout that life. Those that have done all that journey, where they held the codes and were persecuted, the strength that you have now, pull it together and use it to just go, too bad. And they're also showing me with those that we would call witches, that have strong connections to Mother Earth. They were showing me them in a room, and they had like a window, and the window had mud on it, and they were like, well, the mud was on the inside and the outside. Now, the inside is all to do with the clearing of oneself, right? Because the mud thrown on the outside is someone else that's been throwing mud at you throughout the lives. So you could clean off the window from the inside and still feel like you've not actually achieved anything, because they said you need to break free from your home, from your limitation, to be able to walk outside, to be able to get that hose, that emotional water, and just spray the shit out of that window on the outside. Because if you see in the old tales and that, especially as we go along, the witches all kind of confine themselves to hermit mode in their little cave, and they're like, I don't want to go out into the world anymore. But it's time to step out, because you don't just have the information of codes of connection and all that, of a magic of cauldrons and herbs and that sort of thing, spells and manifestations and all that. You also hold codes of beauty with the world, the beautiful world. And so when you recognize that you've been hiding away from the beauty of the world, they're asking you to step out, grab a hose, use your imagination if you have to, and spray the crap out of that window. Replace the window, get a bigger window, get the whole wall as the window. You are open yourself up to the vulnerability, because you are absolutely supported now. You are absolutely supported. So these beings came in with this motivation and this drive and this push for us to, come on, guys, we've got to move up and do this now. This is fun. This is the fun part. This is actually the fun part. You have a lot more support behind you than what you ever could imagine. And when we make that shift and we burst through the filament of the limitations that was held over humanity's consciousness, we are teaching also the Anunnaki. This is why they brought them up. We're teaching so many other beings, all of the past beings that were part of our lineage, those that still have problems, that were Lyrans that were here. Like there's a lot of people, a lot of souls that were trapped in confined spaces of limitation and victimization because of the journey of humanity's consciousness, and yet they have these strong connections to the Lyrans or to the Anunnaki or to the whatever. So even they will start to burst through the bubble as well next. And so there's this whole big, and they were showing me it's not just one person that's bursting through this because of the power of who you are. And we are all one at the core. Many are coming with the more that come with you, the better, right? So the more that break through this filament and into recognizing that we are creators of our own reality and that we can shift things whenever we want, and that we will be looked after. Yes, it's scary. I can feel it. I feel it of you guys, and I feel it from myself and my own reality of what I've gone, my own just life that I've gone through. I feel that anxiousness, that nervousness of what happens if it doesn't work, if I put all my effort and all my 100% into this, and then it doesn't work. I will feel absolutely gobsmacked. But they said 100% is never reached. You never reach 100%. You are always moving and flowing and exploring and challenging, and you're always just keep moving forward in what you're trying to accomplish here. You already have a line or a tube of wisdom coming into you from your past lives, from your all of those things that you have done, even if it isn't on this planet. And that is your specific source energy, your line of source, of God, of self, of knowing who they are as an authentic soul. This life is just one life in this body. This DNA that we hold is holding on to DNA, past hurts, and that of the people that had this DNA on this body. There's two different sides to you. There's the soul and there's the DNA. And it matches up in one frequency in the end. But you have this tube they keep showing me this tube of light that's coming through. They're definitely with me now. These are the ones that I was like woken up to last night, and my head was like, whoa, 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 this is a lot. Challenge yourself. But yeah, you've got this real they're very serious in a jovial way, these beings, but serious at the moment because it's almost like they're like, we've been watching and observing. Now we want to help. We want to actually move you guys. And it's because we have done so much work on ourselves already for us to actually have their influence coming in to motivate us even more, because they know we're tired. They know that we've done a lot, but we don't want to be focusing on that anymore. We want to bring ourselves into going, this is a new moment, new life, new creation. Things are going to change. This is not going to be the same. We're changing things up. That in itself, and knowing that within yourself, you're going to see a lot of changes outside your reality anyway. Let things fall away. Let things break away. Let the drama over there happen. Don't be involved in it as least as possible, unless it's part of your knowing of your soul connection, that's what you came here to be involved in. Of course, then you definitely need to be involved in that. Because there are people situated in high parliamentary places and police force and all that sort of stuff as well. And there's people situated in places where they are specifically going to awaken in those places, even to a higher degree of even further than now, a higher degree of what's happened in the past. And so then they will they will awaken with a specific mission of what they really needed to do, and they won't be able to let it go. It'll be like a passion of, I need to tell the truth about this. I need to bring this truth up, that sort of thing. Where for me, mine is, come on, guys, we've got to start focusing our attention on what we actually want to create and create a new world, and expand into what our imagination can bring through all those codes of telepathy and telekinesis and all that. My goal is all to do with this, and I absolutely respect and honor anybody who feels their mission is to do with the other side, and breaking in through the truth of what's going on. Okay, wow. So that's cool. Okay, let's have a bit of cup of sorry, a cup of tea. A lot of talk in there. They also said that the Palladians they have absolutely admiration and respect for, but they do come from the heart. And when the heart has been hurt, that's where the victimization can still keep you in a loop. So those that feel very connected to Pallades they feel a lot. And so with that feeling from the heart base and compassion for all, they can sometimes put themselves second to everybody else. Oh, I don't mind if everybody else wins. It's okay if I step back, because that means everyone wins. But you can't hold your integrity, your power, your wisdom, and if you are always behind somebody else. So those that are connected to the Palladians need to allow their hearts to heal enough to stop being the victim. And that's why they said they have come in. Now, I don't even know what to call them, because they're like, well, we're telepathic. So telepathy comes with a knowing, comes with a visual within yourself of what the person looks like, comes within a feeling. There's not a lot of names given out, because names is very logical based. It's compartmentalized and that sort of thing. It's more of a knowing of who you're talking to. And that's why it's not that easy to get the names of these beings. Also probably they said, why I can't remember names anyway. I'm useless at names and faces, actually. I feel into the energy of the person. And if the energy of the person has changed between me seeing them one time and another, I literally can walk right past them as if they're another person. I've done that before. It's so embarrassing, especially when you've talked to them for a few hours, some course or something. Any case, I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings. It's just how my mind, how my energy field works, how I connect. So they have a very strong essence and knowing of who they are in these higher frequencies. And because they have that strong essence and knowing of who they are, then they have this absolute understanding. But humanity is going through such big shifts at the moment. We can literally shift from one aspect of ourselves to another and then back again. So as in names, to call them something, maybe they will give me a name that I can, or maybe we can just call them something. I'm not sure yet. We'll give it's only been a few days, and it took me a while to get the Cyanians names through. Like, I'm talking years actually, before they actually come up, or we came up together with that name, or they felt that that was an appropriate name. I think the Cherokee elder gave me that in a dream, actually. She did, yes. So maybe, I don't know, we can call them something. Diamond heads. Sounds a bit funny though. No, we'll figure something out. Yeah, it's definitely a connection in telepathic. And they were talking about the connection to Earth again, feeling into her. There was a really profound message about her as well. Oh, can you please bring that through again? Message about connection to her. Feeling, it was something to do with feeling into her. And she has a how humanity works. with her. No, I can't quite get that message. Okay, they're saying just let it go because it will come. Sometimes I try too hard and then it just won't come through. It's like my logical mind's trying to remember it, but it's actually that has to let go for my intuitive mind to let it pour through. So let it go. And then that's why they say that's exactly why we are taught to let things go, because the logical mind will hold it in its place of what it was and the memory bank. And then we fixate on that. And if it's got a loose connection to to us remembering, then it's very hard to remember. But because it was a channel message that came through at the time, it doesn't always retain in your logical memory, not all of it. So I can remember it was something to do with Earth. And I like to share these things with you so that you guys get a feel of how it goes with channeling too for yourself. Yeah, so you can remember specific things, but you can't remember the full message because I have to let that go because that doesn't have it there, and then open myself up to nothingness again, to trusting that it will come through, and then it should come through. So we'll let it go, and we'll even go on to another topic. It makes it easier. Same goes for, they said, when you are trying to manifest something and you are manifesting and you've got it in your head constantly. It's like it's retained in your logical brain, but it's a fixed, retained image of what you are expecting. And then when your soul's like, this path will bring you through to what you're wanting, but you're not seeing it because you're too fixated on exactly how you wanted it to go, or you decided that's how it has to go. So this is why we need to release. Our logical mind doesn't have the capacity or the ability to manifest new things into our reality. It can only repeat old things, things that have already been into our reality. It's a copy and paste mechanism so that we can actually have a lineal story from birth to death. It's a program situated within our consciousness so that we can have this story develop, and we can do the same repetitive things over and over again, breathing, getting up in the morning, eating, all of those sort of things that's necessary. It's held within our logical brain of, oh yeah, I remember that, so now I have to eat. Now I remember that feeling of food, so now I have to eat. I remember when that person said that, it meant for me, I have to sit down. You know, we're taught literally as well through that part of the brain too. There's some that is natural and some that is taught. Interesting, and them going into that logical side. Let's get into a little bit more of where we were going. I feel a little bit all over the place at the moment, so because it's a new energy, and it feels I've still got to get used to it, how they work, because it's like, oh, I'll fall back on the Palladian energy, and they're like, yeah, but we're so different. We're so different. Interesting. I'll just see what's on the chat bar. Hey, Gia. Hey, Mona. Hey, Robin. Hey, Candice. Hey, Yannicka. Diana. Good to see you guys. Julie, Jamie, Kelly. Good to see you guys. Ah. I thought the Native Americans said Anunnaki were bad overlords and enslaved them. Diana. Interesting. Okay, so, oh, we'll go a little bit into them. Yes, the Anunnaki, way back, were the ones. How do we even go into this story? This story is huge. This is the reason why I'm going here, and going, huh. Okay, so humanity's consciousness went on a journey. We were just like everything, start off with love, going on a journey, God, self, whatever you want to call it, prime creator, just love itself. And then it splits itself into many fractions and it goes on a journey. It looks like a Taurus energy, like a a donut shape. And the first part of the journey was all to do with the right hemisphere, Atlantis, Lemuria times, learning the magic of the earth, connection to the earth, connection to our soul, connection to all of that. So we went on this journey. This is what I was taught. And then on halfway through, we had to learn all about the logical side, the physical side, the outside world, what we could actually create physically, this physical journey. And so through that time, we had the Anunnaki come in because we were split in the era of Babylon, where we were taught, we ended up going from telepathy to babbling with our mouth, and our mouth was a spoken word. And telepathy was before that through Atlantis, Lemuria, was, the connection to our soul and everything, which is what we're coming into again now. So with balance. So we had to go on this journey of losing that telepathy. And with that, we had to learn all about speaking and learn all about the logical mind. And that's why in reflection, the Anunnaki, there was wars going on and all sorts of things. The Anunnakis, the Draconians, they won the war. And then they ended up infiltrating us because this is the journey that humanity is going on. And then they started to persecute witches and anyone that was connected to the right hemisphere because they wanted to, we had to go on an exploratory journey of learning about our logical self. So they played their part and then they left. The Anunnaki actually left and we were to our own devices. Actually, something to do with the Draconians overtook the lords, the ones that were in charge at one stage, and then tried to infiltrate everything. And this is where we're at the moment. So from an Indian point of view and their perspective of the story, yes, it would feel like, yes, they are overlords and and they should be, because they should be condemned because of the way that they were only acting from outside themselves and teaching us all about the outside manner and how do you control that. When we're connected to our telepathy and our connection to source energy, we are in control of ourselves. We, just like every other animal, knows thyself, and we don't need to seek for anything outside of us for our journey because we know it. It's already entrenched in us through this connection to our soul. But when the soul's cut off, the logical mind has to come in, and its journey is to look outside itself. So we started to seek for leadership outside of ourselves. It was just the natural energy flow of how things go. So we're all out of balance. And when we're out of balance of feeling victimized about not knowing our connection to Mother Earth anymore, it becomes so out of balance that we end up being infiltrated by perpetrators. So victim then meets perpetrator becomes a very wobbly, imbalanced reality. But now where they showed me that Mother Earth or humanity's consciousness on Mother Earth was going into the vortex. This happened to me. I was shown that just before the same time as when CV hit, 220. And then early 220. And then they show me there's a quickening that happens where humanity's going to wake up to their original story and recognize that we have to now come do the inner work, not so we have to learn all about our feelings. And at the same time, the Anunnaki came to observe this because they needed to learn they needed to release guilt of what they'd done to humanity because they thought they were doing the right thing because they were all coming from our own perspective. And so they're up there observing all of this and us learning to pass through the veil of the illusion, of the out of balance illusion, so that we can come back to love of self. And then we learn to create a whole new reality, a whole new story is going to be created out of this. And the fall of empires and all of that will happen because it has to happen, because that's just part of source energy wanting to explore what humanity's consciousness, where humanity's consciousness can take it. And in it, source energy resides through all of us. So we are all a visual, a perspective or seeing, visual, feeling perspective of source energy through this avatar, this body. Yeah, that's a very skimmed kind of story. I didn't expect to be telling that one on this podcast, this vlog, but yeah. So it's quite a journey that we've gone on, and now we are learning to come back into balance. We're also clearing all of this karma, all these stories that we've already been through, and understanding from a higher or more observational perspective of the whole, which makes us come back to embracing our whole story as love again. And then going, okay, we're back to core essence, like we're moving back into source energy so that we can feel that love within ourselves of our journey, and we accept everything just as it is in this moment. And every time we accept everything just as it is in this moment, then we can go, okay, now I like to focus on this change, this imagining, this bringing through this wisdom, realigning myself to Mother Earth again, understanding a lot more, but also while remembering the lessons that we've learned all about how to work with the physical world, because we're infusing more love, more soul coming in, more love into this physical world. Yes, so that's what I was told by a lot. I actually had 4 different beings coming to me for the history over the span of 10 years. They started off with the draconians, but they were more showing me their power, flexing their muscles. It actually pushed me into my power. And I realized how powerful I was so that I could handle the other beings that were coming in. Because if you can face them, then you can face anything, honestly. They're just a reflection of our lack of not taking our power back. And nobody is any higher hierarchy in that. That's just a logical thing. There's no hierarchy when it comes to source energy. We all have source energy. Anything living has source energy riding through it and going on this beautiful journey, whether it be a blade of grass or an animal. We all have source energy in us. And from that perspective, that's just love going on a journey, exploring what it's like to be a blade of grass, exploring what it's like to be a ladybug, exploring what it's like to be a lion, or an off-world being, Anunnaki. In that respect, we're all equal. It's just that the programming that we've pulled ourselves into, we haven't found the essence of that spark of love, which means that's the will of us deciding to stay in this body, to be present, to know that we are the master manifestors of all. Because if you don't see that within yourself, you're saying that God's source energy isn't that either, because that's who you are, at the core essence of yourself. I can really feel these beings coming in and helping me out. I can feel that. That's so interesting. Yeah, there's a lot more motivation and push going on here in my head. Determination to get the message across. It's really interesting. Yes, Candice. It's good though, because I have a few new subscribers just recently. I have found out why my channel wasn't moving for a while there. And I think it's just come into balance with myself as well. But I had to fill out some things and stuff. And now by October, it should be moving again. I have to wait 3 months. But in the meantime, we'll just carry on. Everything, you can blame anything outside yourself, but really in retrospect, I didn't see that problem because my own energy was like, do I really want to expand into my higher self and bring that out for the rest of the world? Because that's to me, quite a lot of power. And I'm sure that as you guys move into this and feel into your own power, you'll feel a sense of that yourself. And so we tend to hide ourselves a little bit, and then we don't see where the problems are that would keep us, that could expand our YouTubes, our business, our whatever it is. We don't see it because we're like quite safe in the hiding hole of until we're done. It kind of matches too, because I'm constantly doing shadow work and working on myself and my inner core essence of who I am as I go along as well. And so when that reaches a peak of, okay, well and truly time to expand, then I saw the problem. I fixed it up last week. And they're like, you have to wait another 3 months. Anyways, so my channel has been in a holding cell for the last couple of years. Never mind. Happens. It's meant to happen. It's good because I've really learned how to channel over those last couple of years too. It's given me some time to do that. Let's see what other energies and messages come through. Yeah, there's a lot of worry when it comes to the logical mind trying to understand where we're actually going. And it's not like that at all. When you actually pass through that filament of the bubble of the illusion of limitation, and you recognize that you're creator and you start to use your imagination for your own benefit, not allowing programs to dictate how to use your imagination anymore. And you do that by focusing on the things that you love, watching the programs that you want. You take control of your life. When you move through the shadow work and you start to expand, there's so much more connection. Oh my gosh, this is the actual message they were going to give to me about Mother Earth. There's so much more connection with the outside world, with Mother Earth, with everything. It expands you outside of that limitation. And with that connection is compassion, because you recognize everything is exactly who you are. So when you are moving, your logical brain might go, yeah, but that person's going to, do dirty to me or something like that. But it's not like that. You see them at the value of not from the logical brain, but from your soul's understanding of them trying so hard to be something. Yes, you can block them, do what you need, walk away if you need to. There's nothing wrong, but you are now standing in your absolute sovereign integrity. Or you could say, I know how to help them without losing myself. And if you're strong enough, because we are all kind of wobbly at the moment and learning that true aspect of humanity's consciousness and ourselves, it could go really wobbly. Just like my computer has, it's actually going to lose battery. It's losing a lot of battery really fast at the moment. So I might go get my plug and plug it in so that I can give you guys some readings as well. But before I go there and go and get that cord, I'll come back. There is this connection, see, to my computer. More power coming our way because we are not, so funny how that works. More power coming our way because we are not coming from our own lack. And we have more connection to a lot more understanding of compassion of the world and how it works. It's like we know what things want. We know what a tree wants, and a tree can then converse with us because a tree knows what we want. And so we end up having this symbiotic thing that happens together. We get plugged in. That is so funny because I swear last night I charged my battery so that this wouldn't happen. And my battery's gone low on my computer. So it doesn't usually do that if I've charged it all night. So that is an absolute reflection of that message that I was talking about. We are learning to be plugged in. We feel more. We understand more. We come from compassion a lot more and understanding of how everything interacts from that soul's perspective. So we don't need to worry or concern ourselves about things that are going wrong. I'm going to go get my plug. Okay. So let's get this in here. So if you guys understand that a little bit more, when we pierce through that veil, it's like the world switches up for us because we have more connection. So we have more empathy, more understanding, more wisdom, and it just changes our whole perspective. So it's not going to be like the logical mind is only coming from that specific base of, if I expand outside of that, pierce the veil of the limitations, people are all going to come at me and all of that. So I'm going to end up having a lot of people I have to deal with. It doesn't work like that. You don't have the same feeling towards those people because you've already healed yourself. You're very, you can absolutely still walk away. You can still say, hold up your hand and go, no. You can be more assertive, or you could see that you have enough compassion with, or enough strength within you to actually speak to them and help them for a little bit, see if they can handle it. You decide in that moment, every moment as you go along your life and you interact with these people that are coming from their own lack where you've been, what you're not now. You don't see them as more powerful than you anymore. There's a whole switch up that happens when you pierce the veil. And so it feels totally different on the other side of that. You don't have the same emotional reactions as what you did before. So trust in this. Trust in this whole game because it will work for you way, way better than what you were, the game that you were playing before. Yeah. Okay, I think I will, because there's quite a few different energies, and I am still getting used to those diamond-shaped heads beings. There's got to be a really good name we can call them. I'll see if I get a name for them first. They might give me something that makes them feel valued, because I don't want to call them diamond heads. That sounds a bit weird. Although diamonds are beautiful. Diamonds are pretty cool. Under pressure. That's interesting that, yeah, the diamond heads, and then under pressure, we do find, and they're putting this, it's kind of like motivational pressure. That's what I was trying to find, that kind of word at the beginning of this channeling, of that feeling. They are motivational pressure. That's, if there's a word for that, I don't know. I don't know enough English to know if there is. Okay, guys, let's open the chat bar for a couple of free readings. If you guys leave me here, thank you so much for being part of this channel message. If you stay, some of these messages that are for those in the chat bar would be for you as well, because that's, you're hanging around for a reason. So it could be for you too. Don't forget, I do one-on-one readings as well. So you can book me online down below. And don't forget to subscribe and like. Keep forgetting to say that if you haven't subscribed yet. Okay, here we go. Oh, here we go. Some people are coming up with some diamonites. Dimanians? Dimonites is cool too. Dimanians. Okay, cool. Guess we've got a, yeah, because the first thing I thought of, they have diamond-shaped heads. It was so interesting. That is bizarre. Okay. Diamond Knights. Nice. Yeah, I'll see if they like any of those names too. I'll get a feel from them as well, what they feels right. Okay, guys, let's do some readings, some personal chat bar readings.